evening and welcome to your Tuesday, July 15, 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. U.S. Senator presents legislation to bolster security ties with Guyana and deter Venezuelan aggression. $790 million tugboat commissioned to improve trade routes, modernize maritime sector. Over $239 million to be returned to parents as MOE reimburses 2025 Cape CSEC exam fees. Armed robbery suspect shot dead by police, and trio charged for 18-year-old's murder after third suspect surrenders. Now for the news in detail. A United States senator has introduced a bill to strengthen U.S. security ties with Guyana and counter threats from Venezuela. In our lead story tonight, Michael Henry reports that the legislation would require the Pentagon to review and improve current defense cooperation.
U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, has introduced legislation to strengthen U.S. security cooperation with Guyana and deter Venezuelan aggression against the country. In a statement, Bennet said, and I quote, "As Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro continues to threaten Guyana, the United States must work with Guyana to deter such aggression. This bill will force the Pentagon to evaluate current cooperation and determine where improvements can be made." End quote. The legislation would require the Secretary of Defense to provide a report to Congress on the state of current security cooperation between the United States and Guyana and whether additional U.S. assistance is necessary to deter a potential Venezuelan attack on Guyana. Since taking office in 2013, Maduro has ramped up threats against Guyana, claiming the country's Essequibo region as part of Venezuela, despite international law affirming the region's status as part of Guyana. Maduro's regime has flown Venezuelan Air Force jets over Guyanese territory and threatened oil facilities in Guyana's internationally recognized maritime territory, among other malicious actions. Both the Biden and Trump administrations have bolstered security cooperation with Guyana and promised to impose costs on Venezuela if Caracas attacks Guyana. This bill would augment these bipartisan efforts. In a statement, Bennett's office noted that Guyana is a key partner in advancing regional security, democracy, and stability. Another U.S. Senator, Mark Kelly, a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and the Senate Armed Services Committee, co-sponsored this bill. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
In a move that will further contribute to the modernization of the country's maritime sector, the government today commissioned the $790 million cutting-edge tugboat to improve trade routes and operational efficiency along the internal waterways. Here is Michael Henry again with the details.
The brand new $790 million tugboat commissioned on Tuesday by the Maritime Administration Department. The vessel, named Arau, was built through a collaboration between Dutch shipbuilder Damen and local partner Farm Supplies Limited. It is engineered to handle vessels weighing between 10,000 and 20,000 tons, performing tasks such as towing, mooring, and pushing operations. The contract for its construction was signed in 2023, and the vessel now joins the national fleet. At the commissioning ceremony, Minister of Public Works Juan Egil described the acquisition as an enhancement towards Guyana's maritime infrastructure.
Guyana's maritime sector has moved from broken down old boats, some lodged at the Mazaruni dockyard for years, and people looking at boats and asking if you're selling scrap metal, to a facility that will be able to meet international standards. Guyana is not just open for business. Guyana is engaging people who are serious about doing business. And we are engaging in an environment to ensure that when you come here, the standards that should be upheld are in place and will be upheld. I'm happy to join you this morning for the commissioning of this tugboat. And like the DG would have said, the crew and all the others who will be working in the sector and using these boats, let's care them. Let's lift the bar of excellence. Our maintenance must be robust.
Minister Edgell highlighted that these investments are as a result of visionary leadership.
Visionary leadership by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali and his cabinet. These things are not accidental. All of these investments are intentional and purpose-driven because we are building not just oil and gas, but agriculture is being expanded. Tourism is being expanded. The build out of government services in the hinterland communities are being expanded.
Meanwhile, Director General of MARAD, Stephen Thomas, emphasized that this commitment should not detract from the essential role of the private sector where applicable. On that note, he encouraged the sailors to exercise vigilance and navigate the vessel with the utmost care and responsibility.
The increasing size of ships that visit our port, even though we have not taken away, won't be taking away the role from the private sector, we stand ready to support any emergency. It carries a crew of 6 and it's classed for operation in the coastal waters. All this came at a hefty sum to the government of Guyana of $790 million. The crew, as I mentioned, you train and familiarize the operation of the vessel. The vessel would be in your hands, and we expect that you will maintain it, operate it safely, and keep it sailing safely. Your job is to make this ship forestally unsinkable and indestructible. And may God bless you as you navigate this vessel safely in our waterways.
Michael Henry, The Evening News.
The National Intelligence and Security Agency, responsible for coordinating the state's defense and law enforcement activities, works alongside other law enforcement agencies using drones, CCTV, satellite imagery, and other AI systems to detect patterns. In this Lawanda McAllister report, we learn how the agency's work enhances response time to a range of illegal activities, including in the country's exclusive economic zone.
Speaking during this week's Safeguarding the Nation program, Director of the National Intelligence and Security Agency, Colonel Sheldon Howell, noted that the organization has increased monitoring of its land, sea, and airspace.
Also, in our exclusive economic zone, especially near our oil exploration installations, we have increased maritime patrols and our domain awareness, supported deeply by our international partners like the United States and our regional allies.
This measure, he said, helps to pull the intelligence together, so if something suspicious happens, there is no time lost in coordinating the response, and these are just not plans, they're happening now. Also at sea, NISA is now using sophisticated state-of-the-art coastal radars and automatic identification systems to protect and provide real-time monitoring. The director also noted that within the last year, several illegal mining and logging operations were shut down in regions 7, 8, and 9, in collaboration with the Guyana Forestry Commission and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. Furthermore, many gold smuggling operations were intercepted in the riverine areas, as well as unregulated dredging, particularly in the border areas.
In this regard, we've deployed forward operating units to act quickly before any damage is done. Out in our seas, Marcio, our Coast Guard, the Police Marine Wing, the Maritime Administration and Department, and the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit are protecting our marine resources from illegal fishing vessels, especially from Venezuela, to illegal drug trafficking and armed trafficking routes.
The NISA director has emphasized the importance of public cooperation in reporting illegal activities. In urban areas, CCTV cameras and a new e-ticketing system aid traffic enforcement and police investigations, while in the hinterland, cross-border trafficking helps monitor potential threats. NISA operates from a central command center that shares intelligence with local and international partners. Additionally, NISA is enhancing its response to missing persons by introducing a national alert system to broadcast information across digital and traditional platforms. Founded in 2010 and formalized by law in 2023, NISA plays a key role in Guyana's national security architecture and reports directly to President Dr. Irfan Ali. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
Over $239 million is set to be returned to parents of students who wrote CSEC and CAPE examinations this year. Find out more in this Trishul Sobers report.
On Monday, the Ministry of Education commenced the refund exercise for the 2025 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE fees, delivering on a promise made by President Dr. Irfan Ali earlier this year. The initiative sees a total of $239.9 million being returned to 12,685 candidates, spanning public and private schools, as well as private candidates who sat the May-June 2025 examinations. The candidates who receive a partial subsidy, they will be reimbursed the value of the parents' contribution up to a maximum of 8 subjects. To facilitate the refund process, candidates or their representatives must present one of the following forms of identification: a national ID card, passport, driver's license, or identification by a senior official in the community. If a parent or registered guardian is not available to collect the refund on behalf of a student, they must provide an authorized letter signed along with a copy of the parent's or guardian's ID. The refund exercise is ongoing in Region 2, Parmeroon Supernam, Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, Region 4, Demerara Mahaica, Region 5, Mahaica Berbice, 6, East Berbice Quarantine, and 10, Upper Demerara Berbice. As a result, parents showed up to several institutions, including the Linden Technical Institute, Stewartville Secondary, Wisberg Secondary, New Silver City Secondary, Suzaik Secondary School, St. Cuthbert Secondary School, and Diamond Secondary School to uplift the refund.
At first, when my daughter had to write the subjects and they tell me how much I had to pay, I was like, okay, I'm going to pay it, but I couldn't get no tuition because it was private. So when I heard the government was giving it back, I said, wow, I'm going to come in and find out about it because she wrote 6. And when I came this morning, the money that she showed me was $35,009. I said, wow, it's like I didn't pay anything, and I was happy. I was excited, so thank you to the government.
I'm here today to collect my child from the CSEC voucher, and I will say thank you very much to all who have made this possible, and especially a single parent like me. I am so proud and so happy, and I'm really proud of my kid and proud of the situation. Everyone who makes this possible, I would say thank you so much.
As PTA President of Essequibo Islands Secondary, I'm very grateful and thankful to our government for this refund. It's the first time that my child is writing CSEC, and I'm so thankful that they deem this necessary.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on April 10, 2025 announced that the government of Guyana will fully fund the Caribbean Examination Council CXC fees for at least 8 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate subjects per student, as well as fees for the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE, benefiting both public and private school learners across the country. Prior to the president's announcement, the government provided subsidies for students in the public education sector writing CSEC. The subsidies were determined based on the financial position of parents or guardians. Trishul Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up, armed robbery suspect shot dead by police and Berbice centenarian reflects on his 103 years of life. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips,
Sadco,
Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Reimville.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
On the job, you know how it goes. 1 minute, everything's going right, and the next, something goes wrong. Don't worry, Premier Insurance will make things right again. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.ui. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance coverage for less.
Crispy, creamy, what a catch, so tasty. What a catch, with a caramel center. What a catch, and so much chocolate, ooh yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, with so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel, ooh yeah. What a catch, oh, what a catch, you know we love you. What a catch, oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, what a catch.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. An armed robbery suspect was last evening shot dead by police during a confrontation in Amelia's ward, Linden. Reports are that at around 23 hours 41, ranks on mobile patrol acted on information and went to the home of 26-year-old Shamar Prince, an unemployed resident suspected in a recent armed robbery. Prince, who lived with his 22-year-old girlfriend, Whitney Brasilio, in the lower flat of a two-story house, opened fire on the officers after they arrived and identified themselves. As the ranks approached the apartment, Brasilio opened the western door to speak with them, while Prince exited through a back door and discharged his firearm in the direction of one of the officers, forcing them to take cover. He then ran from the apartment, continuing to fire at the ranks, who returned fire, hitting him. Prince collapsed in the yard, where police found him lying on his back with a .38 revolver, spent shells, live rounds, and a box of ammunition nearby. A black shoulder bag strapped to him contained his national ID card, a cell phone, cash, a knife, and a quantity of whitish rock-like substance, suspected to be cocaine. Prince was taken to the Linden Hospital complex but died while receiving treatment. He sustained 5 gunshot wounds, 1 to the head, 3 to the upper left shoulder, and 1 to the right side of the chest. The firearm, ammunition, and other items found at the scene were sealed for forensic examination. At the time of the incident, police were investigating a robbery under arms committed earlier that day on Long Xing, a 38-year-old Chinese businessman, along with other similar robberies involving Chinese businesses. We now tell you that a third man has been remanded for the murder of a West Berbice teenager, which occurred earlier this month. Our Berbice correspondent, Andrew Carmichael, has the details.
34-year-old Brian Semple, a cattle farmer of number 40 village, appeared before Magistrate Rabindra Mahabir at the Blaymont Magistrates Court on Tuesday, where he was remanded. Police said it issued a wanted bulletin for Semple, who was wanted for murder. He subsequently turned himself in. Semple is alleged to have unlawfully killed 18-year-old Geroy Gordon on July 3rd at number 40 village, West Coast, Berbice. Following the incident, 19-year-old Antoine Campbell, a construction worker, and 33-year-old Rayon Frank, a mason, both of number 40 Village, were charged and remanded, while a wanted bulletin was issued for Campbell. However, Police Prosecutor Sergeant Garfield Edwards informed the court on Tuesday that the prosecution is withdrawing the charge against the duo and implementing a new charge against the three. They were not required to plead to the indictable charge of murder. After reading the charge to the three men, Magistrate Mohobi remanded the trial until August 8, and the matter has been transferred to the Well-Dad Magistrates Court. It had been reported that a now-dead teenager was attacked and killed by a group of men over an ongoing feud with a gang from another village. Preliminary investigation revealed that Gordon and his 16-year-old brother traveled a few villages away to purchase food, and on their way they passed a group of young men known to them. According to the younger brother Jerry, when they arrived at the food stand, they realized that their motorbike was out of gasoline. The younger brother was sent to his sister's house a few houses away to make a phone call to have someone bring gasoline for them. But by the time he returned, Gordon had already managed to secure gas. However, it was on their way back home that they were attacked by the gang, during which Gordon was beaten to death. His younger brother managed to escape. Just a few days ago, another teenager, 16-year-old Justin Smith of number 47 Village Quarantine in Region 6, was allegedly beaten to death by a group of men within the village. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, will immediately publish statements of poll after elections. Chairperson Justice Retired Claudette Singh has confirmed, as part of efforts to boost transparency and uphold public confidence in the electoral process. Trishul Sobers tells us more.
Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has announced that the statement of polls SOPs from the 2025 general and regional elections will be released immediately once available, as part of a renewed push to ensure transparency and public trust in the electoral process. Speaking to reporters outside Humaniana following nomination day on Monday, Singh affirmed that 7 political parties were accepted for review and that the Commission remains committed to delivering a credible and efficient election on September 1, 2025. According to the chair of the electoral body, this mechanism is one of many being put in place to prevent the recurrence of the 2020 general and regional election.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, right, and from what I know, the Secretariat is working very hard, and we have been looking at a lot of many matters, and we are putting things in place. Well, it would be like this. People would be more vigilant, and there's a process involved when the SOPs are ready. They would be flashed, and everyone will see. And people around the street, if it happens, they would be flashed on the screen.
Statement of polls SOPs are vital to the integrity of Guyana's electoral system. These official documents, generated at each polling station on election day, record the number of votes cast for each candidate or party. Their role is central to ensuring transparency, accountability, and public trust in the election outcome. According to GCOM, SOPs are the foundation of election transparency. Copies are distributed to contesting parties and posted publicly at each polling station. Their immediate release allows for voters, observers, and political stakeholders to verify results independently, reducing opportunities for manipulation or misinformation. With this in mind, Justice Singh said GCOM Secretariat is working hard and that she is, quote, satisfied, end quote, with the system being put in place for the upcoming elections. In fact, she reaffirmed that both statutory and legislative safeguards have improved since 2020. Noting that international technical assistance is also being provided to bolster voter education and operations.
Well, we have a set of persons working with operations. We have somebody who is working with, well, generally, like to assist us in, well, putting out more information. You'll find a lot of information going out now. Yes, civic and voting education, and you will find information going out as well.
The general and regional elections is slated for September 1, 2025. Trishelle Sobers for the Evening News.
John Rudder, called Johnny of Islington, East Bank, Berbice, celebrated his 103rd birth anniversary on Saturday last, and our Berbice correspondent, Andrew Carmichael, has filed this report with the centenarian reflecting on his life.
John Rudder was born on July 12, 1922 at Cottbrough, East Bank, Berbice, and attended Friends Primary School. His first wife, Kulsum, passed away 68 years ago during child's birth. They shared 6 children together, 3 of whom have already passed. After his wife's passing, he met Margaret, and the union brought them 4 children. She is 95 years old. At 103 years, Walker can still read, but has difficulty hearing.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, yesterday was your birthday. How old are you now?
I can't remember.
Walker said he started working as a cane harvester, where he met his first wife, who also worked in the sugar plantation.
You can't remember when you married your first wife?
When I married my first wife?
Yes, Kulsum. Can remember those times? How was it?
Well, that girl was an Indian, but he was cutting cane. But I tell you, that was my partner to assist me cut. I do the fetching. She only assists me cutting it. My parents, they were poor, and we had to work to help them. The cure gang, right hand to the cane cutting gang. I had to work because they were poor, we were poor. My young man, I wasn't a free man at a table time because my old man and my old lady used to cut cane. They old me had to stop her. No worry, because you get old. I used to go and help at every time. Nevertheless, I was a young man, had my full strength. So then I wouldn't bother me so much.
His second wife, Margaret, is still committed to him.
Tell them what you like. Like everything. It is food. Something special. Tell them. Food. Tell them special. What food you like? No, pepper pot. Pepper pot. Yes, that's what I talk loud. Pepper pot. So, where does cook for you? Where want to cook for you? Where you are.
Walker said his father, who was a pastor, had set rules which ensured that he was home before 20 hours. Reading his Bible was a must under his father's roof, and today he still reads without needing a spectacle.
Matthew 28. And the end of the Sabbath, as it was began to dawn towards may I just pause the medicine.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic at 20 hours 55 on Wednesday, July 16, 2025 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 8 hours on Wednesday, July 16, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Warrior Nation enjoy meet and greet with GAW and humiliation as West Indies suffer record-breaking defeat. These stories and more coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Contractors, available at Sylvie's are Karcher push sweepers, equipped with dual bristles. These push-powered machines can cover over 32,000 square feet per hour, collecting sand, dust, and particles from roadways and project sites. Save time, use less labor, and earn more. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Streets or Lot 90, East Henrietta.
Did you know that Gassie's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.